Okay, I am so proud of you for sticking with me and learning so much. And I really hope that you're actually going to spread the message. Not that I'm looking for money, but these concepts are so deep. The spiritual technology is so amazing that we need to get other people involved. Please, please share this, spread this. This is so important. So, this concept itself is majorly important. You see, last time I told you that we all exist in a balance between love and fear. And this balance is on multiple levels. But now we're talking on the human level, which is super critical because we're humans and we want love. And we should have love and we should give love. So when we're young, we're naive. A friend of mine, he's very clever. He said it about his little girl. He said, oh, she just trusts everybody. And it's true. She's a very loving, sweet girl. Actually, at this stage, she's become a little bit more aware, a little bit less trusting. So the thing is that trust is a very important word. You know, one of the greatest statesmen, perhaps maybe the greatest statesman of our century, his name is Henry Kissinger. Brought a lot of peace in the world. He did a lot of good. And he said when Arafat, the evil terrorist, the PLO, basically he was trying to make himself out like he's, a nice guy. He said a very important line, a simple line. He says, you cannot trust them because the PLO and currently the Palestinian administration, they really are terrorists. And all they really did was pretend to be for peace, in order to get land, in order to do what? In order to be a terrorist, which is exactly what they did. And so trust needs to be discerned. Now, there's a very big difference before we're speaking about hate, when you're angry with someone at something in you, but when you know that somebody cannot be trusted, it doesn't necessarily mean you hate them. It just means you know that person has proven that they are a liar. I mean, you got to be an absolute idiot to think that a terrorist person that's killing babies is somebody that you can trust their word. So maybe they're just a lot of idiots or people that like to bury their heads in the sand because it's just easier for them. Like Churchill says, an appeaser is somebody who feeds a crocodile hoping it will eat him last. And they did that. You know, Chamberlain, the prime minister of England before Churchill realized who Hitler was. He was telling him for 10 years, you got to deal with this person. And he made peace with Hitler. The guy's an idiot. So the point of the matter is that trusting the wrong people is not a righteous thing to do. A person should distrust people that are not trustworthy. A person should trust people that are trustworthy. However, what's very usually what happens is that we kind of go in extremes. We either like trust everyone or we trust no one. And both of those extremes are not very healthy. So what we're going to be focused on right here is the idea of getting into unconditional love for the people that you should have that trust for, the people that are closest to you. Remember, we said that love begins at home. And really, the reason I've written this book is because I know that a lot of us have put up walls and we don't trust people anymore. And when we do that, we live a very, very emotionally shallow, as one rabbi calls it, emotionally constipated. I don't like that. I like it better. Emotionally shallow life. Because in order to have true love, you have to have trust. You can't love someone you don't trust. If you're afraid of them, what do we say? Fear is going to make you retract. Love is going to make you attract. What happens if you have more fear than love? You're staying away. And so we want our relationships to be loving, to be dynamic. But often we've been hurt. Let's say somebody's bitten by a dog. So he doesn't trust any dog anymore. But what if there's this cute little puppy that just wants your love, and the two of you can be great friends. So you see, it's not so simple to just distrust. Obviously, if the people that are closest to you, you've chosen those people, you should love them unconditionally. Now, this is very, very important, because when we distrust, sometimes distrust is not an innocuous thing. Just like trust is, and sometimes people can be naive, they want to trust people, they want to love people, and that's where people can be foolish. They'll say, oh yes, there's no such thing as terrorism, open up the borders to terrorists. It doesn't exist, but it does exist. So distrust can also be a problem, because distrust says, oh, everybody's a terrorist, meaning you don't know, so you're like locking yourself. And distrust is an active state. Very important to understand this. The mind seeks out, imagine you're a general of an army. So what is your mission in life? To protect the country. So what do you see? You see enemies. Now, I'm just a citizen, so I don't see the enemies. But trust me, there are many American generals that they see the enemy. Like, I think of Russia. I don't really think about it as the enemy. Like, I like Russia. I'll go there. I'll hang out with the Russians. It's all cool. But they may know that, hey, Russia has lots of weapons. They may say, hey, Russia doesn't like us. I don't know. I'm just using that as an example. But the point is, they may be right. That is their job. Their job is to see the enemy. So, I want you to get to the point where when the people that are close to you, you can love them unconditionally. And the way to do that, you see, because distrust makes us very, very sensitive to anything that reminds us of what happened. Oh, he's scamming me. He's scamming me. Like people that come from kind of scamming societies. And there are a lot of those societies where people really don't trust each other. So they're always thinking how the other person's scamming them. They just don't have any trust of anyone. And so the people that you've chosen to love unconditionally, I don't know if we did this exercise yet, that you choose, we will be doing that at the end of chapter 3 for sure. You choose to love certain people unconditionally. Let's call it your family members. Your love for them is no matter what they do for you, no matter what they do to you, like a parent to a child. I love you because you're my child. I love you because you're my spouse. I love you because you're my blood. And that is thicker than water. That love is unconditional. And when you have that in your life, you have real love. And that, my friends, produces serotonin. It's the best drug in the world. It's worth doing.